As we all know, water is an important resource. And whether you live in the country or the urban city, we all have a very important attachment to the resource of water. Water is important for cleaning, cooking, the drinking water that we all use on a daily basis. And of course, here in the country, we appreciate having our access to water because we have our livestock and our gardens that need water on a daily basis. I know that for many of us, we wonder, what do you do if the power runs out and you don't have access to being able to get water from your home? Well, recently I met Stephanie, and Stephanie taught me about having a hand pump attached to your well. So I invited Stephanie here to share more with us about a hand pump and why is it important to have a hand pump installed.
Hi, I do business Idaho hand pump, and the reason that I got involved in this is because my dad several years ago was looking at the possibility of water and how he could make it more accessible. Just like all the things that she's just explained, water is essential for everything that we do in life. And we can store a whole lot of food, we can store toilet paper, we can store all sorts of things, but you can't store enough water for any significant amount of time. So as he started looking at the possibilities of hand pumps that existed, he found that either they were not very good models, they weren't very effective, or they were too expensive for the average person to be able to afford. As an emergency precaution, a lot of people will stick a hand pump in their well. They'll tell me as I leave, I hope I never use this, but they want to have it as a security. So when he started experimenting, my father's an engineer, is used to creating things that he needs in his life. So he started experimenting with what options that were out there, and after several models and things that have changed, then we have what we now have as our currently the Idaho hand pump. So it just makes it so that you can have access to the water that she's talking about. When if you have a well, you have it right there, but you can't bring it up without some sort of a hand pump that doesn't require electricity.
So having a well, do you have really an unlimited amount of water underneath?
You have an unlimited amount of water as long as your well is, as long as the aquifer is holding out. So the lake that's under there that your well is accessing, as long as that's good, then you have an unlimited supply of water.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I know when you came to our home and you installed our hand pump, our kids were running around. They're excited to see what you're doing. But I was really surprised and excited to see that you had brought your children and that your children help you.
Yeah.
So what is that like for your kids to have that experience?
It is such a wonderful thing for our whole family. It was when my dad approached me with the idea of this being a business for us. At first I was really hesitant because I am a homemaker at heart, and I didn't want to leave my children. I didn't want them left at home. That's where I felt like it was my responsibility. So when this was something that I could do with my children, it turned into this beautiful situation that we could create a greater stability for our family. We were going through a difficult time that we needed some extra income. We needed some different changes in our family, and so it was such a beautiful blessing for us. And my children have been able to work before they were legally capable of working for anybody else. They've saved money for college, they've saved money for trips that they've wanted to go on, and been able to do lots of things that they would not have had open to them had we not had this opportunity for us.
I love that. You're really teaching them that honor and integrity of working. Mm-hmm. So for those who are interested in learning more about getting a hand pump, you're located here in eastern Idaho. Mm-hmm. And what information would they need to bring to you?
So we don't require a lot of information. It's a pretty simple process. I need a name, a telephone number, an address, and then a well depth. Sometimes people say, a well depth, I don't have any idea how to find that. Most of the time it's a really easy process. Wells that have been drilled within the last 25 years, they've been required to stick a tag on it. It says Idaho Department of Water Resources, and it'll have a number stamped into it that starts with D00 and has 5 other numbers. If we can get that, we can look it up on the internet, and it tells us right there what the depth of the well is. If the well is older than that, then there are other ways of finding out the well depth. And if we can't find the well depth, we can do a depth check for $30. So that's all the information that I need to know to be able to do it. We do offer a group discount. So if you can get a group of 5 people in an area, and I consider an area to be like the furthest 2 people in the group are about 10 miles apart. And if you can get 5 people in an area, then everybody in the group, their price drops by $50. Our single installation price is $275 for the first 100 feet. If we have to go deeper than that for your individual well, then it is $1 per foot for whatever we need to go deeper. But like I said before, for a group price, if you can get that group together, then everybody in the group drops by $50.
That's a really good deal. And I know that with having that opportunity to network within my community and ask others, it helped us have that ability to talk to our neighbors and to see who was interested. It saves you the time so that you can be able to give that discount and have enough people to serve at one time.
Right.
And so that was really an awesome part of your business. I liked that.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, it was super easy. I think it took about 30 minutes. So is that about average, or would you say you need a little more time?
I tell people usually that it takes me about an hour. Deeper wells are obviously going to take me longer than more shallow wells to accomplish the process, but most of the time I tell people to figure in about an hour. If we have complications with something, that it's obviously going to take longer than that. But most of the time, I would say between half an hour to an hour is all the longer that it takes for us to install the pump.
That's awesome. I know that my kids really enjoyed it, and they loved seeing you have your kids here and all of you guys working together, because I know that's what we are striving to accomplish, is our kids being able to have the ability to learn how to work young and be on a farm. So as you can hear all of our animals in the background, it's a great opportunity to have met you, and we really appreciate your service.
Thank you very much. It was good to work with you, and I appreciate this opportunity to do this with you today.
Of course. So if you're interested in being able to have a hand pump installed in your well, or you just have simple questions, please contact Stephanie at idahohandpump.com.
Thank you.
Woo! Got it!